So today I want to talk about something a little bit different, but still related. ABS, asset-backed securities, and more specifically, auto loan papers, ABSs. So just like the mortgages, car loans are securitized and sold. It's a $1.5 trillion market, and it's been growing every year. So what happened in 2020 and 2021? Basically, car prices jumped up because of the pandemic. Everybody needed a car because they couldn't take public transportation, take the metro, all that stuff. They couldn't take Ubers. Uh, so they went out and bought cars. Fantastic. Problem is there was no cars because you couldn't get chips. Um, the plants were closed for some time. Didn't have enough workers. Didn't have enough parts. So what happened? Car prices went up, especially used car prices, 20%, 30% over MSRP. You know, a used car that was like $40,000, Mercedes, sold for like 60, $70,000. Ridiculous stuff. Um, One-time event. But the problem is the banks decided to go ahead and give the people the money for those ridiculous loans. Uh, and now the chickens are going to come back to roost. So you understand that the bond market is super important. It's how everything works. Lending is the biggest part of this economy. Everybody says consumption. Yes, it is consumption, but a whole lot of that consumption is based on credit. So if the credit market does not work, there's no consumption. So 2019, what was going on in ABSs? This. So you have a piece of paper that's securitized, say this is a bond. So how much were these bonds? Well, they were selling really well. Uh, so usually you'll have an LTV, a loan to value of 80%, okay? And the terms will be about 60 months, okay? Uh, and you have other ones that are 48 or 36, depending on the terms of those loans. And they bunch them up together and they sell them as ABS. And then they give them a rating. So this one is it's a pretty good one, 80%, okay, loan to value. So it's let's say it's rated A plus, okay. Good bone, good bones for this bond. What happened in 2021? There you go. So now you have an LTV, a loan to value of 130%. And your months went up to 72 months or 80 months because the prices went up. So if you were even if the interest rates were low, you still have to make the math work. So what you extended the number of months. So now you're at 72 months or 80 months to pay the same amount. So your car payment went up, even though your interest rate was down, but the price went up. And then they give it the same bond rating. The same. This is $130,000. That means it's 30% over the value of the asset. This is 80%. And they have the same rating. Do you think they should have the same rating? No. But hey, the banks did it. And where are we now? Well, now we are seeing delinquencies. The deep subprime and subprime are jumping. For example, in Washington, D.C., the average car payment is close to $1,000 a month. And we're seeing a 23% delinquency rate. 23% delinquency rate on $1,000 car. This is crazy, $1,000 car. Nationally, we're looking at $650 to $700 a month. We're looking at double-digit delinquency rate. And repos are starting. Yep. People are not paying, so the banks are repossessing. And now what they do? They have to sell those cars. So they go into the auctions, to the wholesalers, like, hey, look, I have this car. Can you help me out? Can you buy this car for me? And they say, okay. How much is this car worth? Oh, 70,000. uh-uh. It's not worth 70,000. Your loan to value, yeah, 130% is not worth 70,000. I'll give you like 40. So the man goes, "Oh shit, 40? Oh man, well, I'm gonna tell the investor that I sold this ABS for that uh, I just lost like 50% of the value of the asset that's backing this security." Yep, yep, yep. There's the problem. So now it's down to $40,000. So the bank go, "Okay, how about I come back to you next week or the week after and see if prices go up?" Like they actually think that used car prices are gonna go up if they would hold on to them. So they're like sitting them in the desert in Nevada, in Arizona, and they're gathering dust, hoping that the car prices will go up. And then the bondholders that they sold those bonds to are like asking for their money. So what's happening now in the ABS market? It's seizing up because nobody wants these ABSs that are worth nothing. Because one was rated right with an 80% LTV, the other one was 130. And car prices are what they're doing? They're falling. So now nobody wants these ABSs. So ABS prices are crashing, they're seizing up. All these banks that do car loans are putting away more money for defaults, to basically balance out the balance sheet in the future. So they're putting away money for defaults, and they're coming. But this is the car market, and you're gonna say, what does this mean for the housing? It's exactly the same thing. What do you think happened with mortgage-backed securities? What happened with mortgage-backed security? You really think that people that made $70,000 or $80,000 could afford a $600,000 house? Yep, yep. Only the interest rate was making it look pretty. What happens when it starts figuring out that those houses are not worth 30% or 40% of the increases of 2020, 2021, and early 2022? Yeah. And the difference between the car market, versus the MBSs. The MBSs were backed by the Fed, so they had no risk making those loans because they were selling it to the mortgage, to the Fed, and the Fed is going to come back to them and go, "Hey, wait a second, I own a third of all the loans. You need to pay me." And they're going to go, "Oh, well, hold on a second. The house is worth less, and they're not paying." Yeah, you're gonna start meeting the new landlord called the Federal Reserve. He's gonna come after homes. So good luck, everybody. The idiocracy, basically. Uh, Everybody started drinking the Brawno, because it had electrolytes, because it was called QE. And now QE is over. We have QT. We have inflation. The Fed can't stop. And if they ever do, we'll be creating an even bigger mess and just kicking it down the road. So sooner or later, there's going to be a major crash. So hold on to your hats. There's going to be some major issues in the real estate market, and it's going to be a very bumpy ride. Trying to keep it real.